So Laurence Fishburne wants a crack at another Marvel character in the MCU. We will discuss this, you guys. It's a big one. Also, Daniel RPK is dropping some scoops about the future of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. And also, Mia Goth gives us a small little brief update on Blade, which is exciting. Anything about Blade gets me excited because I'm still excited to see Mahershala Ali as the Daywalker in the MCU, whenever that decides to come out. But let's talk about the first topic. So Laurence Fishburne, right? Various styles. Boys in the Hood, if you know, you know. Morbius, The Matrix. We all know he's already played a character in the MCU. He was Goliath in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I think a couple of episodes of like What If or whatever. He's petitioning. He wants to play Charles Xavier, Professor X, for the rebooted X-Men film that's supposed to release, rumor has it from Jeff Snyder, 2028, May. Casting could begin very fast, but don't hold your breath. But I love Laurence Fishburne as an actor. I love him. I love what he's done with his career. You know, being Goliath, I felt like was, a bit of a undertaking. The character really wasn't, the Goliath that we know from the comic books, obviously. And they never really gave him his time to shine, which is unfortunate. So I understand where he wants to come at a different angle for a different character, because being somebody like Professor X, you're going to have a massive, massive role in the MCU moving forward. I mean, the X-Men are going to be the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So a role like that would be huge, ginormous. Patrick Stewart did a wonderful job. James McAvoy did an exceptional job. But the big question is, you're not being authentic and true to the source material. Because if they do end up casting a person of color, like Laurence Fishburne, there is that thing. And, it's race swapping. And I'm not the biggest fan of race swapping because I'm a firm believer of, establishing and already having black characters and really, going all in on your black characters. I'm not a fan of, having a white character and, changing their race to be black. Or I'm not a fan of the whole gender swapping at all. I think that's a terrible idea. And Marvel Studios right now is not in a position to do anything like that at all. They are on the fences right now. So they have to play everything very safe and well-structured. That has to be a well-oiled machine for this X-Men movie coming out potentially in 2028. After Secret Wars and Doomsday is done, everything gets rebooted, whatever, they got to be careful. And to take a massive risk like casting a person of color like Laurence Fishburne as Professor X, I feel like would be a very sticky situation. Giancarlo Esposito, he petitioned and wanted to play Professor X. A phenomenal actor. You kidding me? Absolutely. But I want them to stay true and authentic to the source material. And I want the fans at the end of the day, because say what you want, fans make you your money. There's a reason why Marvel's been struggling at the box office. There's no trust. Fans are no longer just going to be showing up to your movies just because it has a Marvel Studios logo attached to it. You have to give them a reason why. You have to win your fans back. And X-Men in particular is ginormous. Ginormous. So we'll see what happens with that. Like I said, he's just petitioning. He wants a shot at the role, but we'll see what happens. I mean, there's fan castings and rumors of like Bryan Cranston, potentially being Professor X in the MCU alongside a Daniel Day-Lewis as Magneto. Don't know how true those rumors are, but man, that would be the dream casting. Dream casting. I don't know why I just randomly thought of that. That would be so perfect in the world of a rebooted X-Men. Now, moving on to the reports from Daniel RPK, you guys. Marvel has plans for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine past Avengers Secret Wars. Hugh Jackman is about, 55, 60 years old? He's going to be playing this character until he's 90. But in all honesty, I am so for this. Because you think about it. Okay, they reboot the X-Men. The X-Men are a much younger cast, like in their 20s, maybe, early 30s, and you have a 60-year-old Hugh Jackman. That works because Wolverine has always been the oldest X-Men. So it could potentially work. It could. But then I see the other side of the coin too. I understand the people who want this role recasted for a freshly new reboot. But we are just now experiencing the perfect Wolverine, you guys. Logan gave us a taste of that R-rated shit, and it was perfect. And then what we got in Deadpool and Wolverine was the tip of the iceberg. So it's like Hugh Jackman is just only now starting to essentially, truly play this character. And I want him to continue. I am sorry. Wolverine is one of those roles, and it's going to be extremely hard to recast. Just like a Robert Downey Jr.'s, Iron Man, Tony Stark. Extremely difficult. The pressure to fill those shoes. And Hugh Jackman loves the role. You can't kill Wolverine. Wolverine ain't dying anytime soon. So wherever they have planned for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine past Secret Wars, I am all in for. I am in, because I love it. I love this character. I've loved, Hugh's performance as Wolverine since day one, since I first saw that X-Men theaters in Pacific Theaters, you guys. X-Men movie in Pacific Theaters. Yeah. Tongue twister. But we all know that Jake Schreier's directing the X-Men reboot. He's directing it. Ryan Reynolds is, developing a new X-Men kind of team-up spin-off that could potentially have Wolverine and a Cable. Getting back Josh Brolin. I don't know how he feels about getting back in shape like that because he was yoked in Deadpool 2. But can you imagine Hugh Jackman's Wolverine alongside a Josh Brolin's Cable? The tip of the iceberg. I'm telling you guys, so much more to come. But I'm excited for whatever they do with the X-Men. I know it's rumored that, Apocalypse is going to be, involved, or like Mr. Sinister, but we'll see what happens. They have to try something new. They tried so many different storylines with the X-Men. They ultimately tried to do the Dark Phoenix twice and failed miserably. So I'm hoping they take their time. Don't rush the Dark Phoenix saga. Do that shit at the very, very end, and we'll see where we go from there. But Hugh Jackman continuing on as Wolverine past Secret Wars is definitely exciting to my eyes. And moving on to the final topic, you guys, Mia Goth has confirmed that she is still involved in the Blade film, stating, "It's for the best that it's taken the time that it has. They want to do it right." Now, she's rumored to be playing a character called Lilith, and in some iterations, she's Dracula's daughter, or the mother of demons, ancient demon sorceress who has existed since before the city of Atlantis sank. She's also a major antagonist, Lilith, for like the Midnight Suns, your Ghost Rider, your Morbius, and your Blade. The fact that she's still attached to it has me excited because when I first found out that Mia Goth was attached to Blade, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. But whatever storyline they had that she was out for Blade's daughter, I'm like, axe that shit. I don't want to see no Blade's daughter in the first movie. Hell no. Focus on Blade. I don't care that I'm sick of like these MCU parents and dads and I'm done. I want to see that character. I don't care about his daughter. Don't have the daughter be the main focal point and story in the essence of these Blade films. Solely focus on Blade. That is it. No daughter aspect. I don't want to see no kind of bloodline. Nothing. But I'm still hyped, man. I cannot wait. Also, David Dastmalchian, I believe I pronounced his name right. He wants to play Morbius in the MCU. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? He's got the look. He has the vibe. He has the aura. That would be pretty good. We all know Jared Leto was Morbius in Sony. We all know how that ultimately turned out. All visual effects, non-prosthetic, hated it. Absolutely just frustrating. As somebody who loves the aspect of filmmaking and, practical elements and practical effects, the fact that it was all just added on CGI, it baffles me. Practical, 9 times out of 10 is always going to look better. I am sorry. I'm down. I would love to see David take a crack at playing Morbius in a Blade project. That would be awesome. Or like a Midnight Suns. Speculations, is big on, post Secret Wars, post multiverse, that we're going to be jumping into the world of the supernatural. So maybe, they can work out some kind of deal, Marvel Studios and Sony, and where they can get Morbius over, in the MCU instead of, Sony doing its own thing. Because, that post-credit scene of the Vulture and Morbius, that's ultimately not going to pay off. I'm sorry for anybody who wanted that to pay off. I hope it never does pay off. I hope nothing from Sony ever does pay off other than the Spider-Verse stuff, because we got to move on. We got to move on, and a lot of fans still want to see Morbius done right. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about today's topics. Hugh Jackman continue on as Wolverine. Laurence Fishburne wanting a crack at playing Professor X. How do you feel about the race swapping? Honest thoughts and opinions. And of course, thank you guys for taking time out of your day for watching SeaWorld Productions. Peace.